Hello everyone, it's Rock Cran. I'm coming to you with another video. I know it's been a little while, I don't know. Been working a lot, drinking too much, and I don't know. Anyways, I want to get back to some nerd stuff from like back in the day. And if you'd all indulge me, I want to talk about Dragonlance. Currently, Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman, the creators of Dragonlance, are embroiled in a lawsuit with Wizards of the Coast about it's a breach of contract and tortious interference with their publisher. I hope they don't settle. I hope they take them to the fucking cleaners, because they have made TSR and Wizards of the Coast so much money over all these years. If you never read the books, it's okay. I mean, if you're new to the channel, welcome. I talk about a lot of nerd stuff here. I talk about pop culture and, but this one, recently, and talking to a friend tonight, got me thinking about how awesome the Dragonlance series was. Just, when I was a kid, there was J.R.R. Tolkien and Michael Moorcock, I think. That was about it. And I remember when I found Dragonlance Chronicles at Walden Books. I saw the cover by Larry Elmore, and I was like, whoa. And I look inside, and it had a list of the characters and who they are and where they're from. And I'm like, well, this sounds rad. I told my Mom, you gotta buy me this. She's like, you want a novel? I'm like, yeah. And, of course, it took me like 3 months to read it because I didn't know how to read. I knew how to read, but I didn't know how to read, if you know what I mean. I wasn't a voracious reader when I was 12 years old, Not the way I am now. I could tear through a book in like a couple days. But, Anyways, Dragonlance Chronicles, there's so much going on. I don't want to spoil anything, but I just want to talk about the universe that Margaret Weis and Tracy Hickman created, and the characters, and TSR asked them to create a new world for players to play in, and boy did they give them one. And dragons had to be like a big part of it. Dragons had to be a huge part of it. So dragons are everywhere. And good ones and bad ones, and and there's a whole war of the lance. And the good dragons couldn't take part in the war of the lance because evil priests of Techesis had stolen all the good dragon eggs. All the good dragons, as D&D lore goes, the metallic dragons are good, chromatic dragons are evil, and it's fine, it makes sense. But so they took all the good dragon eggs, and they said, hey, if you take part in this war, we're gonna kill all your young. You're not gonna spawn any new young. So they had to abstain from the war. Well, the evil dragons ravaged the land and just led to all-out war. And it's crazy. And you have your 6-7 heroes that come from this small town, and they're gonna like change the world. And I can't spoil anything because I just can't spoil anything, because if you read Dragonlance Chronicles and I tell you anything here, you're going to be spoiled. And I don't want to spoil anything. I want you to read it. I want you to go out and get your Kindle app and get Dragonlance, or go to your, I don't know if any bookstores are open where you live. I don't know if there's any used bookstores open where you live. I don't know if anything's happening anywhere where you live, but I mean, as far as fantasy books go, I would put Dragonlance I can't rate him. I mean, everyone's gonna love Tolkien. Everybody loves Tolkien. I can't read it. It just, the high English he uses is just not for me. I mean, I've tried several times. I can't get past Tom Bombadil and the Barrow Wraiths. And then I don't see that in the movie. I don't know. Anyways, that's just me. Anyhow, I'm talking about Dragonlance now. And Dragonlance doesn't let you down like that. It doesn't leave you dry like that. You meet your characters and then they all split up and go on their own different adventures. And that's books 2 and 3. And, you know, one of your characters turns incredibly evil, but not towards the other members of the party. You know, he's just like, you know what, I can find more power here, so I will become a member of the Black Robed Magi. And that's the thing about Dragonlance. There's 3 different, I don't know. This is going to sound a little weird, but there's moons of magic. There's 3 different. The world of Krynn has 3 moons: Solinari, Lunitari, and Nuitari. And each one of them is a god of the 3 different schools of magic. So, this is back in like 2nd edition D&D. Whichever one you picked, you only got spells from different schools. You know, like there's 8 schools of magic. So if you were like a white robed mage, you wouldn't learn any spells from necromancy or charm. I don't think, 'cause you can't charm people. If you're good, you just tell them the truth and hope they believe you. But if you were neutral, you know, I think some of those spells were in your schools, and then, you know, you go to dark, and yeah, and it all, like, you had to wear a robe. If you were a mage of high sorcery in the Dragonlance world, you had to wear a robe that had your color on it. You know, so everyone knew. It was part of the covenant that was made thousands of years before. And during the breaking of the world, and this happened because people turned their backs on the gods. Gods are, I wouldn't say they're petty. It's just, when a particularly charismatic man shows up and says, hey, we don't need them no more. Look at all we have. And we can do even greater without them. And people turn their backs on the gods. And in one person in particular, Lord Soth, one of the greatest knights of Solamnia the world has ever seen. He was the bastion against the darkness. Like a one-man wrecking crew on evil. And he got the call. You have to go to Solamnia, or to wherever it is. You have to go here and kill the king priest. Kill the king priest, because he's gaining too much power and too much influence, and he's taking it away from your true gods. And he's going, you know, and his horse goes lame. And he's like, shit, well, it's a long ways back to get to my horse, or get my horse treated. So I'll just leave it here, and I'll go on foot. Right? He's got a solemn oath. And then he meets this woman on the side of the road. And she's like, I need help. And he's like, it's 30 miles to that place. It's 5 miles to my home. Let's take you and my horse home. And they get home, and, you know, he fucks the shit out of her, and, you know, he forgets his quest, and the king priest does his thing and creates the cataclysm. And on the world of Krynn, the cataclysm is catastrophic for everybody. The gods leave. The gods who have provided them with everything. They leave. They're like, nope. But they also take all of their faithful with them. The truly faithful. The ones that just said they were, lip service faithful. No, they don't come. But the truly faithful get to go. And the rest of the world suffers. And that's hundreds of years before where the books take place. One man tried too hard to usurp the power of the gods, and the whole world paid for it. And that's the world we wake up in when we start book 1. And you meet Flint and Tanis, and they're good friends, and you can tell they've known each other for a long time. They went on, each of them, the companions from this small town. These young men are adventurers, young men and women. They're adventurers. But they all, they'd gone on a bunch of adventures together, and they said, hey, the gods must exist. We have to find proof of it. That's what they set out to do. And they said, if we don't, in 5 years we're going to meet up here in our little town of Solus. And the ones that set out are Sturm, Kitiara, that's a girl, by the way, Flint Fireforge, Tesselhoff Burrfoot, Tanis Half-Elven, Caramon Mejir, and Raceland Mejir. They all set off to look for the true gods. Because there's, pop-up religions in every town. And sometimes they stick for a while, like the Seekers. They have to deal with the Seekers in the first book. The Seekers, they're looking for the true gods, but not really. They're just trying to, make you feel uncomfortable if you don't believe in what they're talking about. Yeah, they're awful. Anyways, so the beginning of the first book of Dragonlance ever, the very first book ever, is them coming to meet after this 5-year period. And you don't know about it until you meet the characters, and one of them doesn't show up. And Tanis is really sad, because that was his lover, Kitiara. And we don't know what happened to her until later. I don't want to spoil anything, but Dragonlance is melodrama times 10. Because it's all about war and violence and gods and dragons and yeesh. As far as I don't know, I was probably 14 when I read the first one, probably younger than that. I was in high school when I was 14, so I had to be younger than that. It was high stakes drama. The world is gonna fall to the darkness if these seemingly, normal people don't stop it. They're all adventurers, though. They all have talents. Caramon is incredibly strong. Raceland, his twin brother, is incredibly weak, but incredibly powerful with magic. Tanis is a ranger or a fighter with a bow. Who knows? It's hard to tell. Sturm Brightblade is, your traditional knight in shining armor. Totally awesome character. I'd say when I was much younger, he was 50% of my personality. And now that I'm old and dying and, whatever, he's more like 10%. But my honor is my life. Never tell a lie. Always be true to yourself. Always be true to everyone else. That sticks with you. And, his character is one of the best. Even though, like, everyone shits on him because of the knighthood. Again, during this time of troubles, after the fall of, the cataclysm and all that, people blame the knighthood for not being there to help them. And so, being a knight is not something that is looked upon with much, they don't see him and go like, oh wow, look at that dude, that knight. They're like, get out of here. People don't want to see him come to town. And he's just a son of a knight. He's not a real knight. He hasn't been knighted. He just got his father's armor. That's part of what went on in his 5-year adventure. He got his father's armor. And he didn't know his father as a child. He was raised by his mother, who told him about all these knightly virtues and all that. So he goes to find his father, and, well, that's a story for another day. But when he comes back, after the 5 years, he's got his father's armor, he's got his father's sword, and he's got this knightly demeanor that is so awesome. I love Sturm Brightblade. He's the epitome of the knight in shining armor. But an incredibly flawed person at the same time. I mean, every character in the series is flawed, and that's what makes them human. And they have to go on these adventures to, like, save the world. Dragonlance is awesome. Let's just leave it at that. Nerd shit 101 right here. At least for fantasy. High fantasy. Like, I can't read Tolkien. It's the high English he uses it's just too boring for me. And of course, I hate his elves. I absolutely hate Tolkien elves. But that's just me. It's just me. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. I don't know who that is, but anyways, it's okay. But yeah, I'm out here talking about nerd shit, and I want y'all to know that I love you, I care about you, and I was afraid I got shadow banned by YouTube because I didn't know how to upload a new video after their latest update. But I found the button, so all's well. So anybody out there that likes Dragonlance, leave a comment, leave a like, and I try not to spoil anything. I just want to tell you how awesome the series is without actually, like, spoiling it. I want you to go out there and read it and, grab a Kindle. Find Dragons of Autumn Twilight. See how you feel about it. I don't know what it costs. Probably like $10 on Kindle, because everything old costs like $10 more than it cost when it was new. I remember buying those books and they were not $1.99 or $2 even, something like that. They were cheap, paperbacks back in the day. Anyways, y'all have a great day. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you want more content like this, I know it's been a couple weeks. It's been a very hectic couple weeks for me. Sorry I haven't been uploading as much. Anyways, if you want more content like this, hit the subscribe button. And, I don't know. Thank you for watching. Peace.